That's an
It
arts and
is.
crafts. That's not Tiffany. That's an arts and crafts lamp back there, though.
Indeed.
Yeah, that's nice.
Indeed.
Yeah, people aren't watching this on YouTube, by the way. They have no idea what we're talking about. Trust me. That's a nice lamp in the back there. Richard Gunther is here with us, everybody. Richard Gunther, Home On. The name of the
That's
show is
right.
Home On. And Entertainment 2.0, I believe, was the other show.
It still is,
Oh, it
in
still
fact.
is?
Yeah.
Okay, very
And
cool.
I also do another show called The Smart Home Show, not part of the Digital Media Zone, though. That's separate.
Okay. Why? I mean, I don't mean why do you do another show? I mean, why is it separate, if you don't mind my asking? Or we can talk
Yeah,
about that later
so
this week if you want to. It's up to
no,
you.
that's fine.
All right.
So the Smart Home Show is a show that was started by my friend Mike Wolf,
Okay.
and Mike was a an analyst in the space, specifically looking at smart home stuff, and he kind of pivoted to smart kitchen and food tech, and his show was just sitting out there. And a good friend of mine decided that he wanted to do a show with me. I already had some podcasts. And I'm like, why don't we see if we could buy that brand? And so basically, we took over his show, and it's different than Home On because my friend Adam is a CEO of a smart home company. They
Mm-hmm.
produce product. I look at it from the consumer point, and so we kind of take on bigger topics than just what's newsy
Interesting. And people can find that one where?
in all the places
Okay.
in Apple, in Google. Just look for the Smart Home Show, and my name again, Richard Gunther.
Very cool. All right. And we'll talk about the other stuff you're doing throughout the week. Um, People expecting to hear It's News to Richard are going to have to be patient. They're going to have to wait about a day. Normally on Monday, we do It's News to Blank. And for people who don't know, well, why am I explaining it today? Because we're not doing it today. Tune in tomorrow and you'll find out why we're doing It's News to whomever and why we're moving it. Well, actually, why we're moving it, I'll tell you right now. It's because the Tuesday show, when I originally talked to Richard, was going to be Fortnite Follies, which is going to be everything that's going on between Apple and Epic and, all the sort of fallout around it. The problem is that story is changing so fast that I feel fairly certain that if we recorded it today, Sunday, for Tuesday, it would already be outdated. In fact, there's a halfway decent chance that this show will be out of date by the time it hits at midnight tonight, Sunday night, Monday morning on the West Coast, 3 a.m. on the East Coast, because I woke up Sunday. I woke up Sunday to find that that Microsoft had actually filed a friend of the court brief, siding with Epic against Apple. I don't know that I can say succinctly what's been going on between Apple and Epic. Do you feel, Richard, like you can, or do you want me to try and you can fill in any blanks, or vice versa?
I don't know that I can. I mean, I've this seems like one of a handful of areas where Apple just seems to be really drawing a hard line.
All right. Well, hold on though. Let's back up first before we get to what we think they're doing.
Okay.
So apparently, and this is an article that I actually have to read for Monday's macOS Can. Apparently, right before Fortnite said, maybe a week or two before Fortnite, started, or Epic, excuse me, started its in-app purchase thing in the App Store. The company wrote to Apple and said we would like a special deal, and Apple said no. At that point, Apple thought that Epic might do something, and so it started getting its ducks in a row, sort of behind the scenes, because Epic definitely was. They did that thing I guess it was on a Thursday, where they made it possible to circumvent Apple's in-app purchases. And what was great was one of the first articles I read about it was, I think it was either VentureBeat or TechCrunch, was like, it's unclear how Epic is getting around Apple's in-app purchase requirements. And it turns out the way they were doing it was just by ignoring them. They were just going ahead and starting the functionality. And then it turns out that did not fly with Apple. And so Apple pulled Fortnite off the App Store, which did not affect anybody who was already playing Fortnite. I mean, so you already had however many millions and millions and millions of people
Right.
playing Fortnite. They could continue. It wasn't like they were keeping it from people who wanted it. They're, however, keeping it from people who want updates and things like that. And I'll admit, I'm kind of curious about Fortnite again. I've never played it. I'm kind of curious about it again now that I can no longer play it, but I'm not going to spend thousands of dollars on a phone on eBay, nor am I going to switch to something else. And I really don't have time to play video games anyway. So that all happens. That all looks kind of bad. And then Apple says, and we're also going to revoke your developer license. And this is how you get the rest of the planet involved, because revoking their developer license means Epic will not be able to update the Unreal Engine, which a number of developers use to build games, or a number of developers are working on building games with. Not as many as Unity, according to a bunch of people I've checked in with and talked to, but still a sizable number of people, including Microsoft and the Forza brand, the cross country racing brand that they have, which is one of my favorite games. That's honestly one of the games that has caught me most on my Xbox, not on not on my iPhone. Yeah, it's beautiful. I love a driving game because nothing's trying to kill you. I think honestly, I can sit and play a driving game for hours without even realizing that hours have passed. But now Microsoft has come out and said that. I skipped. See, this is the problem. I skipped a part. So Epic has actually filed an injunction against Apple, saying, please, courts of the land, do not let them suspend our developer license because, well, first of all, they want Fortnite back in the App Store, but they also don't want to lose the developer license because they don't want to lose, the work that's being done by the other developers, and having Unreal Engine be something that can be updated in the App Store. And that's when Microsoft came out today, apparently, and said, yes, this would do real harm to other people who are not involved in the fight. So please, go ahead and side with Epic on the injunction. The problem is they're involved in the fight because they're involved with Epic. So that's a recap that I feel certain I left out 75% of the stuff because so much stuff is happening. Now, you started to say.
Well, I just feel like over the past couple of weeks, we've seen several cases where Apple is kind of being villainized by the social media, by the tech community for drawing a line in the sand on rules that have previously been, one might say, hard to interpret. For the most part, the rules have been there. But there's so many exceptions to what people can get away with in the App Store, either because of the type of app it is, or it offers, say, not only just this paid thing, but also a free service. So then it isn't necessarily subject to the same rules. And there are just so many nuances to this that it's been confusing for developers. Now, I might argue that a smaller shop like the folks from Basecamp that produced their new mail app might have a case for the fact that, come on, this is how this feels like a constant moving target. You got to give us a break here. Of course, he was far less diplomatic in fighting that battle. But when you have a game maker like Epic that's basically saying, hey, look, we want that secret deal that you give people, and when they don't get it, to just blatantly break the rules, they have to be slapped somehow. I don't think they're going to permanently lose their developer license, but that is in the agreement that if you violate the rules, you risk losing your developer license.
Yeah. I don't know who's right. What I really honestly wish is that it could be left to the court to decide. What I wish more than that is that Epic hadn't come out and been a troll. Because Epic came out and they were a troll, and they're still being a troll. Like, as you and I record this right now on Sunday afternoon, Epic is holding the, what is it called? Is it the Anti-Apple Cup or something like that? They're basically having a battle. Oh yeah, they're having a battle in Fortnite. It's the last hurrah, basically, where everybody on all the platforms will be able to play together because Fortnite Chapter 2, Episode 5 or Episode 4 comes out on the 27th of August. At that point, everybody who still has access to the App Store, so all the Android users who sideloaded, not all the Android users who bought it from the Google Play Store, all the Android users who sideloaded Xbox, PlayStation, whatever else, PC, Mac. Actually, for the Mac, you will be able to get the update as well. They're going on to the next chapter of the game. And so people who have the game on iOS will still be able to play in that instance, but the next chapter, the next whatever gets introduced, they will not be able to go ahead. So as you and I record, Epic is right now holding a big battle royale which I guess is what the game is. But they're holding a giant thing where they're giving away, swag that looks like some of the Apple stuff, but is decidedly anti-Apple. I mean, they're trolling. They're absolutely trolling, and this is what makes the whole thing, I don't know, difficult from my point of view. Like, if you've got a case to make your case. Right. And that's fine. And even start doing the court of public opinion thing if you want to, but you can't start by saying, we don't like your rules, so we're just going to break them. And then play yourself off as some kind of victim, especially when you also had a court case ready to go within an hour and a half and a video making fun of the platform that you're trying to get back on in an hour and a half.
Yeah, I have a hard time stomaching all of that. And, if it's not obvious from the way that I described things earlier, you've talked about this numerous times. I don't have a problem with the whole 30% thing and the 30, then 15 for media and yada, yada, yada. Mm-hmm. I do think of that as a cost of doing business.
Right.
And I think that many developers don't necessarily account for that and just assume that they're going to find a way around that. The larger companies, I really think, unless Epic has some slam dunk case that nobody is expecting, like there's something in their argument that is going to get the judge's attention to go their way, this just seems very foolhardy as a strategy for working with someone that you're taking to court.
And please forgive us if anything that we said is no longer accurate. Because this segment started 11 minutes ago, and that's how fast this story is changing.